Hi guys, it's Mish here, and I'm fixing a Bosch Rotak 32R lawnmower today. The symptom of the lawnmower is that when we plug it in and you push the switch and you expect it to start up, it's just completely dead. No noise, no motor noise, nothing at all. So what I did next was I changed the fuse on the plug, which is an obvious kind of thing, and that didn't remedy the issue at all. So what then is the next step in the process is to change out your switch. The Bosch Rotak series all have the same switches inside them. It doesn't really matter which model. So I've got a 32R, you might have a different model number, but the switch inside is always the same switch. So this is a really cheap replacement. Let me get this. We went to espares.co.uk and they sent us back this little parcel. It costs less than £10, and inside the parcel you will see a little switch just like that. Okay, so what we do is we're going to unscrew the switch housing, take the switch out and replace it. So I'm going to show you how that's done. So to do the replacement you're going to need one of these and one of these. That's a Phillips head screwdriver and just a set of pliers to pull the cables out of the switch assembly. The switch itself is attached with 5 Phillips screwdrivers, so it doesn't really matter what order you take them out in, and they're all the same size. So I'm going to take these out now. Once you've unscrewed the screws, the switch literally just comes apart like that. So I'm going to put this to the side. The important thing to remember is how these cables lie inside the unit. Once you pull it out, it's easy to forget. So get your phone out, take a photo, and that should be pretty straightforward after that. So take the switch completely off of the handle, and this is what you'll end up with. And I'm going to pop this off completely. Obviously make sure it's not plugged into the power, otherwise there could be a risk of death. And the important thing is to insert the cables back into the replacement switch in the correct order, so that the live cable and the positive and neutral go to the correct locations. So here's the replacement. It's exactly the same size, but the colour of the button is different, but that doesn't matter. Make sure it's the right way around, so one side has this little box on it, the other doesn't, and make sure it's the same with this. So keep it the right way around. That's it. And we're going to pull the cable out. There's no screw or anything like that. It's literally just a case of gently pulling the cable off. It just comes away like that. Now if you break the cable when you pull it out, don't worry, you can always strip a little bit of the insulation away from it, and then basically you can use that new piece. Time to pop that into the new switch. That was it, blue on top, just making sure that it's the right way around. It was actually quite easy to pop back in. That just pushes in quite easily. So that's that side. Pull out the other side. That was a bit tighter. Oh, and that one's broken off. So I'm going to have to be careful to pull it out properly. Lucky. was like that. Blue to blue, brown to brown. So here's a good example for you. The little brown side, it's snapped into the switch, which is exactly what I was talking about. So what I'm going to have to do now is strip some of this away so that we've got some exposed copper on that side. So I'm going to just do that and I'll be back with you in a second. So I had to, as you saw earlier, I pulled the brown end off. So I've re-stripped it and now we've got 2 copper cores. Be very careful when you strip the outer, the red cable, that you don't cut into any of these tips. You can create a short circuit and create further risks. So I'm just going to pop these in now that I've done that. It's quite convenient because the blue is at the top, brown at the bottom, and it's the same on both sides. So you can join them up by matching the colours. See if that goes in. It's not so easy because there's no solder on that end. I think it's gone in sufficiently to make contact. Just twist that one nice and tight so that we can push it in. I think we have a connection. So it's time to put it all back together again. Seems to be okay. Okay guys, so I swapped out the switch and really disappointingly we had exactly the same symptom. It just was dead. So I thought, right, okay, the switch assembly, that bit's working, which is this part here. So I thought, right, well, what can happen next? We'll follow the cable down, and we had the cover screwed on with a couple of Phillips screws like that. And I thought I'd have a quick look. So I want to show you something really important. So that's the motor down there. And when I lifted the cover, I saw loads of grass and like crap like this that had accumulated underneath it. And because there was so much of it, it literally had pulled this little blue cable out of its connection point. So obviously keep all your thing unplugged when you do this. Make sure it's not plugged in, and then give each one of these cables a little push down. There was a really obvious motion on this little blue guy, and I pushed and it clicked in, and I thought, oh, that must have been it. So if it's not your switch that's broken, and unfortunately I'd already gone out and bought a switch, but never mind, it's worth having a new switch anyway, and I know that my old switch works, so I've got a spare. Have a look at your motor there and give it a little push on each of the contact points. So I'd unscrewed this without the camera being on, so I'm going to just screw it back on. If I can find my screws. Okay, so it's all screwed back on, and now I'm going to have a go. Push me low. That's like £180 worth of a lawnmower saved for the price of actually nothing. All I had to do in the end was push a little cable back in. So that's how you do it, guys.